Welcome back to another One Piece chapter, chapter 1181. A God and a Devil. Um, Cover request by Nakahara Michi. Carrot sings as she strolls over sleeping panda sharks at sea. Hey, crazy? Ninjin Park, Zao, Zo. Can't see what the other part of that sign says, but it's a nice little cover request. Nice cover request. Wow. Okay, straight into it. Memories from 14 years ago. Back to King Harald. I am the worst king in the world of Albath. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. He was only 144 at the end. Giants usually live to 300. He died way too soon, says Loki. You tricked my dad, right? That makes you responsible for his death. As he speaks to Emu, Mu says the one suffered most from that inconvenience was Mu. And after hearing that tick Loki straight off. Loki got his hammer above his head, Ragnar above his head, ready to strike down. And he tells Emu, damn you. Back then, and then there's another flashback, Horrall getting pierced through by all his royal guard members. I don't care about how I'm remembered in this little text bubble above Horrall's flashback. Back to Loki, back to Emu, and now another flashback of Horrall. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future. Isn't that right? Loki says, back then, what did you do to my father? As we even see Ragnar face, Ragnar Izuchi? Ragnar Izuchi. This lightning based attack with using Loki and Ragnar at the same time. This panel hard than a bug though. like Ratatoscore's buck teeth kind of trip you out every now and then, but he loads up this gigantic attack, and you can tell it's lightning based because it got came out the clouds, the type of lightning. But Moo has his demon aura or whatever that is right next to him, and it looks like he charges it up and shoots it right at this attack. And that's this giant explosion, and you just see a giant explosion on this branch of Elbath, and people getting blown away. It looks like Bonnie and Sanji are getting blown away. I don't even know if that's Sanji. I don't even know that's Sanji. Uh, Lilith is holding on to the tree. Jinbei is guarding Nami, and Frankie looks like he's fine anyway. But all of them are being blown away by this attack, and and straight back to the fight. Loki says, "I can't believe he tanked that." So he pretty much null and void to the whole attack. Dude, that's crazy. And Loki says, "What's with these black flames? What sort of power do you have?" And Emu demonstrates with that same like finger thing. He putting up the blood sign, and he's producing these black flames out of his body. And he just says, "Omen dot 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 is simply moves military might." Oh, and Loki says gigantification. So Mu is using this fire, this black flames, to gigantify himself. Interesting. Its power dwells in all things. So he's saying the omen power dwells in all things, so it makes it useful everywhere he goes. That's interesting. Um. Okay. Back to the fight. Back to the fight. Emu grabs all that black mass and puts it into like a ball to attack Loki with. Loki attacks back with his hammer. They just clash. Um. But after the clash, it'll like Emu spins off the attack and has a counter attack for Loki where he uses the other end of his staff and pierces Loki straight to the chest. Nemesis. So it looks like all that black mass formed a black blade for Emu for him to attack with. It's like a parry to that like block that Loki tried to do. And it looks like it only went through like Loki's shoulder from what I'm seeing, but still, this is a gigantified Emu fighting Loki right now. So this is kind of crazy. He ain't got no weaknesses, man. Strength is strength is an attribute people naturally crave, and yet that craving can easily be satisfied via corruption. It merely requires one to submit their will to a covenant. And I guess this is Emu speaking on his own power and how he was able to turn Dorian Brogy into demons and how he was able to control Horal, some of the biggest, most powerful people in this whole city. Covenant. When their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. Those three things together form a trinity. Hmm. Okay, so look, Emu really trying to tell us something right now. Hold up. Corruption, covenant, power. And the kanji reading for power is stated through it uses the same kanji previously used for omen, maki, demonic, aura. So I guess all things that Mu possess form a trinity. That's funny. Okay. Known as Dominion. And Emu shoots another like bomb attack full of Maki, Haki, this bomb black mass directly at Loki as he's trying to get up and re-attack him. Oh, I've actually missed it. Emu was spinning this ball around on like a chain and just flings it at Loki. It's still attached to the string, but it blows up in Loki's face. And Emu says, known as Dominion. And as Loki gets hit by this gigantic like black explosion, Emu says, "Shall I grant thee the power of a god? In one step thou wouldst go far beyond humanity." Loki hears that and coughs, regains consciousness, and throws Ragnar right back at Emu and screams, "I don't want it." And it's a giant crackle, crackle, creak. And we come back and we see Loki on the ground, huff, huff, wheeze, wheeze. And Loki says, "So God's dominion, that's your power." Huff, huff, wheeze, wheeze. It sounds more like a deal with the devil to me. And Emu says, "Is there a difference between a god and a devil?" And Loki gets up and says, "Beats me," as he sees that Emu did not get hit by his attack, kind of dodged his attack, and that was behind him. I just know I ain't gonna let myself be dominated by anyone. Dot dot dot. So Emo doesn't have a response to that. But yeah, this look. I guess I don't know. I'm kind of confused on what Emu was trying to say about the whole power and why his is like. I don't think Emu should be surprised by Loki saying this. Like beats me. I just know I ain't gonna let myself be dominated by anyone after he had to kill his own father because of what happened to his father. It makes sense. I wouldn't either. And Emu says the world itself rejoices in a state of dominion. Isn't that right? Then we can see this silhouetted figure that's laughing profusely. I'm guessing this is a Joy Boy reference. Isn't that right? Dot dot dot. As Loki gives up another attack, a go against Emu, and Emu screams, "Isn't that right, Joy Boy?" Wow, I didn't even think we'd see emotion out of Emu like this, but Emu actually he bout it. Okay. All right, Emu actually screaming at the top of his lungs. Screaming at the top of his lungs. Okay. Oh, and then we back to the school or the library. I can't even really remember. I think it's the school. Explanation marks. And we go back to Luffy. Nom nom nom. And now they got translations for Luffy because he is eating. I need more. Gotta eat more. I've never felt anything like this before. Shoot, it's so heavy. It's like I'm suffocating. What's with this guy's hockey? If I don't eat all of this, we can't win. More, more, more. So Luffy is stuffing himself to the point he's fat as can be. And how it's literally read is, no, I need more. Gotta go more. Never stop like shoot. No, I'm so heavy. I'm suffocating. What's up with this guy hockey? I don't. If I don't go all this, I can't win. No, no, no. So Luffy does not take Emu as no type of joke. He is really preparing for this, and he is serious. Like, oh yeah, this guy's means business. So that's good to see. That's good to see. That's good to see. You still lost in thought? Says Loki as he hits Emu squarely in the face with Ragnar. That tells me one thing: you're underestimating me. So Loki's hammer hit, like Loki's hit, knocks Emu all the way back into the treasure tree Adam, leaving most likely an indentation. Yeah, just to go back and says, "You lost in thought." As he hits Emu, that tells me one thing: you're underestimating me. And by that time, he's flown into the tree, buried into the tree. Looks up, sees Loki has transformed, and in his head, he says, "The Needhog." Loki charges up a blast. Emu tries to get his blood fingers together to try to do another Maki Haki to thwart this attack. And by that time, Loki hits him with Thorenheim right up against that tree. Now I can't really, yeah, it does look like Emu is taking some damage. I didn't think he'd be taking damage, but clearly he's taking damage from that hit with the hammer, and most likely this Thorenheim attack. He's buried in the tree. Thou really has returned with a smile on his face, a fearless smile. No break next week. Goodness gracious. So we actually getting an actual fight between Loki and Emu, and it's not as one sided as I thought. It ain't one sided. I thought it'd be one sided as a mug. I thought it'd be like there was nothing you could do against Emu. Emu is strong, but a tag team might take him out from some two crazy individuals. Now, one is loading up. What the other one that's loading up can be as outrageous and crazy as Emu is being at the moment. But I think the actual meeting between Emu and Luffy is going to be complete gold. I mean, oh yeah, yeah. If it's anybody that's gonna piss Emu off, it's just saying Luffy and just being like, "Yo, this guy does not care." Okay, okay, yeah. I don't feel like I was excited for this chapter, but I didn't read it as excitedly because we started off with those flashbacks. But I guess it was just cool to see Emu's powers and how he deals with somebody as strong as Loki. Huh. But yeah, this was really short and quick. I wish I had more, but yeah, Loki handling himself. What else can we say? Loki handling himself. I thought this would be bad for him to be fighting all by himself, but hey, he's doing a great job right now. He's doing a great job. He's holding off long enough for Luffy to join it and fight. Do we see? I don't know if that was Sanji's body earlier getting flown around, but yeah, yeah. Emu actually is like that, but he's not invincible. If you can land an attack, if you land an attack on Emu, I see there is damage. There's clearly damage. He's not impossible to beat, but you gotta be willing to lose a limb, lose a limb to keep fighting this dude. Because this the things that Emu can do with that black mass is kind of crazy. And I just want to know how like how would Blackbeard fight somebody like? Would Emu's powers even work against Blackbeard? That's a crazy question. But this right? Isn't that right, Joy Boy? And what's crazy is that when Emu screamed out to Joy Boy, this hockey went right past Luffy like it was talking to him. Now, granted, Emu did let his guard down and scream out Joy Boy, but it was a perfect shot. It was a perfect shot by Loki. Loki is one of them. He's up there. He's up there with one of the strongest. If he was able to do this to Emu, I don't see a lot of people even be able to hit Emu that hard or that far. But damn, this was real. This was mad short. This was short. This is short as a mug. Like this ain't even. I thought. Look, I don't even think it's been 20 minutes. It's only been like 15 minutes. I got through that in like 13 to 14 minutes. Ragna Izuchi was a hard looking attack, but I'm mad that it got blocked by the Maki, I want to say. I guess we can go ahead and just confirm that black stuff is called Maki. Black Flames. This is crazy. So, great opening to the fight against Emu. Um, I mean, the real question is how long can Luffy and Loki last up against Emu, and how long can Emu last up against Loki and Luffy? Ugh. But like, I think the even bigger question at the end of the day: how long can Emu last up against a Blackbeard and Luffy? That's the real question. How long can you stand up to the new Davy Jones and the new Joy Boy? How do you fare against these two new versions? And this new version of this giant that clearly has has like I guess Loki's lore and the lore around Albeth is somewhat known to Emu, but Emu cannot piece everything together. The fact that Emu was able to know about Needhog or know that's what it was once he finally like really like landed eyes on it, like, oh, that's Needhog. I mean, it's kind of weird because you should have known, but at the same time, it's just like maybe you didn't have all the information, right? We need to dive further into the past and really understand what kind of mind Emu was working with. But these like Rennigan eyes, these double rimmed eyes, it's crazy. These panels are going so hard. Um, but yeah, I'm surprised. Look, I'm surprised that this was pretty much like 2, 3 attacks. like two, three attacks each, and end the chapter. But here's my thing. I don't think Emu like fighting that much. If you spent all that time in the Holy Land, nah, nah. You could have been down here. You could have been boxing. I'm sorry. And I guess that speculation about was Emu part Lunarian. I don't think that's true. I don't see flames on the back, unless it's the black flames, right? Yeah, I don't really see that. So it's not no Lunarian. I just think we need to see an actual colored panel of this transformed Emu and understand why he wears this type of garb. He's able to gigantify himself. He's able to make homies. He's able to control people. And what would be crazy if his Joy Boy probably had the same type of effect on people. But yep, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. I know this wasn't the most active chapter, but I was just really interested as a fan of this chapter. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was just interested to see what happened. I ain't had many takes or a lot to say, but it was some flashbacks and a couple of acts. That's really it. Nothing new was revealed to us yet. But Emu has a problem with Joy Boy, so yeah, we get that. But I don't know. I guess I wanted more lore to come out of this chapter, but this is a good setup for Luffy coming back into the fight. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe.